time to talk about Matt Bevin. He drew attention over the weekend with another meeting involving Lee's friend, the Koch brothers. Yes. Bevin joined wealthy and secretive Republican mega donors at a biannual meeting in Colorado. There were other elected officials there, and there were speakers with several hundred of Koch's biggest donors there. Now, last week we told you Bevin's approval ratings are really low, 29%, but his spokesperson recently said he's underappreciated for his achievements. Do you agree? Is he underappreciated?
I think to some degree, yes. And as we've talked about before, some of it is his own doing, because he's got a great economy that he's working with, a lot of things that are movement that any other sitting governor could take advantage of. But because of some of the missteps, like with the education debacle, so some of the things he said, it's been unfortunate that that's been the focus.
Yeah, and it's his own fault. I mean, it is not kind of his own fault. It's totally his own fault. Look, if you were, I was doing a thing with Scott Jennings the other day, the McConnell spokesman, and he basically said, we have record low unemployment and all of this stuff. Right. And he said, no governor could lose with that economy. And I said, well, if there's one that could, it would be Matt Bevin, because what he has found out is when you criticize people, they remember it. And I think the anger out there for Matt Bevin, Lee, I don't think it's going away. It's vitriolic and it's strong, and I don't think it's something he can get over.
Thank God you guys aren't fanning the flames, though. That's a good thing.
Yeah, because the Republicans have never fanned the flames about anything. If there's one thing we know about the Republican Party, very straight down the middle, never say anything bad about anyone. Right. Is that right?
My suit is changing colors.
Do you agree ultimately, though, it is his fault? Like, he should have been careful.
Yeah, for the education thing, yes, he should have done a better job in critiquing his argument.
Yes. Governor Matt Bevin is also making news for his reversal on another change to Kentucky's Medicaid program. Officials now say they will suspend patient copays of $1 to $50 that were abruptly enacted on July 1st. The copays caught health providers by surprise. They didn't have a way to administer them, and they caused alarm among patients who didn't even know they had to pay them until they showed up at their doctors. Now, Kentucky was also featured recently as a role model for Medicaid reform on an episode of HBO's Vice News. Bevin would not speak to the show, but one of his people did, and here's what they had to say.
People want to feel like they're contributing. We rob them of that opportunity if we keep them in a system that long where it sort of disincentivizes them to go back to work.
There doesn't seem to be a concrete plan of how you're going to actually bring sustainable work to those parts of the state, to the rural parts of the state.
It gets lost because we're talking about healthcare. But then if you go and you talk to workforce development people, you're going to hear all the stuff that they're doing. The jobs will come. We have to have the people to work.
Now, with these changes now having been reversed, was it possible Matt Bevin was a little hasty in putting them into place to begin with?
Yeah, I think we talked about that as well. You can't, you got to have a plan in place, one that is solvent, one that makes sense. And I think that's what everybody's searching for, something that really makes financial sense, because what we've had, whether it's from the federal level or the state level, hasn't made any sense to me yet.
He did three things that literally they announced them 2 days before it happened. He took away dental and vision and required the copays. Didn't tell anybody it was coming. All of a sudden it just happened. And you can't just enact a huge change like that. And guess what? Nobody was ready, including the health providers. And now he's had to flip all of them. I think he did it out of anger because he lost the lawsuit about Medicaid. I think sometimes he is his own worst enemy. And Lee, here's another example of why.
Well, but again, he did the right thing as well, though.
I don't know. Well, you and I disagree on whether it was the right thing.
I think it was.
You think it was the right thing to take away people's dental and vision?
We got back to the right thing.
Okay,
I said the reaction was...
On that we agree.